Travis Wingoodsill. I'm going to do one more video before I go to bed, even though I probably shouldn't do this video. Didn't have dinner, but I still have dishes from brunch. Well, yeah, breakfast, lunch. I had one woman claim that the subject material of one of my the main sign video that's on my page, channel, or whatever you call it, was good material, but she said that because of my allergic reaction to pollution and the fan, that my etiquette was poor, and so that she wanted to express her disgust with me. She's been banned, obviously. That's abuse. And this is the theme of the video. When I tell Mormons that they're not following their own gospel, when I use Mormon scriptures, I'm Mormon. I know the Mormon scriptures very well. I know how to read and write the English language. I aced grammar all through school. I took creative writing classes, literature classes, extra writing classes. And so, yes, that was a subject matter that I excelled in very well. And so it's disturbing to me, growing up in the church, recognizing all sorts of illiteracies being used by Mormons, such that as a child, getting the sacrament flyer and using it to not just doodle, but whenever somebody would say something that I would recognize as contrary to what I've read in scriptures or from other Mormons in the church or other leaders in the church, even from conference, I'd just jot them down. And then they'd go home and be stuffed in a pile. And then in the 2000s, I saw the pile, and I mean, it was a shelf-sized pile. And I decided, you know what? Why don't I assemble these together? And made a book titled Mormon Illiteracy. It infuriated my singles ward stake president. He wanted me punished. The bishop stepped in on my behalf, tried to tell him that it doesn't mean what he thought it meant, because it was designed to help educate Mormons, to pull them out of illiteracy. There was an illiteracy program that the church was doing at the same time, but their illiteracy program was for third world illiteracy. People don't see where they make errors, and it's referred to as blindness. Mormons are blind, literally. I've gone over Moroni chapter 10, verse 4 and 5, how the traditional belief and practice or implementation of that passage, if it were to be put into words, reverse engineer it back into words, is completely contrary to what the Book of Mormon actually says. That's how blind Mormons are. And Moroni 10, 4 through 5 is about how not to be blind. And so how that got started in the church as a traditional practice, I don't know, but I can see how it spread. Because Mormons just sit in church, in sacrament, in Sunday school, in their priesthood relief society meetings, in seminary, in institute. They just sit and listen. That's it. And so I guess it could have started from a popular teacher that a majority of Mormons participated in, who then had, they tell 10 people, they tell 10 people, they tell 10 people. And that's how it spread into the full culture here in Utah. And then out of Utah as missionaries and people who move out spread with them. And so take, for example, Richard Evans, who replies to my video about LDS Church redoing President Oak's white supremacy talk, which he didn't go to the first one about him being a white supremacist, which was the commentary of his talk. This was just a commentary about how the church is having trouble uploading his video, and they're still having trouble uploading it. Now it says that when you click on I tried all three, small, medium, large, it says page can't be found. And so the second session, page can't be found. I tried a different computer just in case the church was identifying my IP address. Nope, same scenario. And so that's a computer uploader problem. Whoever's in charge of that is messing it up. And so he's not able to give an accurate response to my actual commentary about his talk because he's on the wrong video. So that's his first problem. And so second, he says, wow, so judgmental there. Who are you to judge? Is he not Mormon? I thought all Mormons knew the difference with Joseph Smith's revisions. Judge not unrighteously. So why is he using the Christian error? And it is an error, because even in the Christian texts, it still is clear in the context. You have to keep reading. Everybody stops after the first verse. Judge not lest you be judged. And then they stop. Oh yeah, I can memorize that. Nobody keeps reading, which is another illiteracy mistake that people make. Context illiteracy. People isolate from the context to reinterpret according to their belief system that they want to perpetuate. But yeah, this is also a definitional error, because it's not talking about judgmental in the new definition in the modern sense. The original definition from the Greek, completely different, because we are judges. Every one of us must make judgments every day in our life as we go along. We have to make judgments as to what clothes we're going to wear for the day. Some people make it a bigger issue than others. I don't make it that big of an issue. I have a system set up. When I do laundry, I fold the clothes, put the shirts in a pile. I then take that pile and stick it in the drawer, such that I pull the front shirt first. So however I folded them, put them in the pile, put them in the drawer. That's how I select whatever shirt I'm wearing for the day. And I make sure that they're plain shirts. They have collars, they have pockets. This is the non-collar one. These are the t-shirt ones, but I have the other collar ones if you've seen other videos with me. We're getting into the fall. So if we hang around the 50s to 70s on a regular basis, I'll be going back to those. If we start dipping below the 50s, then I'll have to go back to these, and I'll wear the thermal shirts. But yeah, I have a system set up for clothing, for example. But that's a judgment I've made. And I've told you why I make that judgment. I don't want to make my life complicated, so I make it simple so that the complexity of my life is not burdened by clothing. With dishes, I try to simplify what I eat so I don't have the burden of all the dishes. And it's just me, just one person dinner, or brunch, I guess it was. Didn't get to have dinner. And so when we interact with people, when we go to the grocery store and we see somebody who's going down an aisle that we want to go down, do we rush ahead of them to get in front of them? And yes, we do that with traffic, with driving, don't we? We make a judgment when we pull a stunt like that. There are always consequences to what we make a judgment on. Another issue is that Richard Evans is also judging me by saying that I'm judging. And so he asks, who am I to judge? Well, who are you to judge me? I just throw it right back at him. He's projecting. And he doesn't see it. He's blind to it. Because he's emotionally responding. And in that emotional response, he slips up and exposes himself. That's why I just watched an episode of Bull while I was trying to take care of some stuff here. That's why prosecutors or defense attorneys, they love to get the other side's witness to have an emotional break on the stand when they're being witnesses, so that they can justify their position. And if you've watched Star Trek, as Gene Roddenberry, I learned that I can't see the camera to point it out to you. Yeah, right there, that one on the end, that's Andromeda. Yeah, Andromeda. Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek. You know, he loves to play with the dual nature of man. Captain Kirk, especially when Captain Kirk was split into two people. One was the lustful, emotional being, and the other was the logical side. And he came to realize, I need both. Not quite, Gene, but nice try. Made for a good show. But he's now claiming no white supremacist message, but one of respecting the laws of the land. Oof. Richard himself just pulled a white supremacist move. The law and order president. That's a white supremacist term. Respecting the laws of the land. White supremacist term. Because the laws of the land favor white supremacists. Under Obama, they weren't saying that. They were saying Obama needs to be the law and order president. He's in violation of the law. He's in blah, blah, blah. And so, yes, Richard Evans has exposed himself as a white supremacist here. And to love your fellow man. Yeah. He purposely misses who's supposed to respect the laws of the land, who's supposed to love your fellow man. He's saying protesters are not respecting the laws of the land. Protesters do not love their fellow man. And specifically, the protesters are protesting the police brutality, as the protesters are getting further brutalized by the police of whom they are protesting. And Richard Evans and Dallin H. Oaks have the audacity to say that the protesters are not respecting the laws, that the protesters don't love the police. That's why I showed on the cover of both videos Russell M. Nelson when I caught him at the end of the conference of the priesthood meeting where the boys' choir was in the seats, and he gives the Heil Hitler salute to him. I caught him, and I exposed him in several videos on my other channel, one of which somebody just happened to have found this year and had YouTube take it down, which they shouldn't have. But they refused to tell me why it was taken down. But I had it in other videos as well, which they haven't taken down. But I caught him. That was the picture scene from it. I still have the videos myself, but then I put over it as the caption, "Say her name." Did Breonna Taylor not respect the laws of the land? Did she not love the police officers that burst into her home while she was sleeping and assassinate her, and then cover it up, falsifying documents? The grand jury being denied the details of the case so that they would say, we don't see anything here. They just released the video footage. I saw it this morning on ABC. I still have to catch up on the news. You know, was it the police or was it Breonna Taylor who didn't respect the laws of the land and didn't love their fellow man? The police didn't. And so for Oaks to say, hey, if you don't like things, take it to court. Oh, really? Oh, so we can just do a pro se litigant case for the criminal courts, right? Oh, well, we can't. It has to be civil. So we can only get money damages if we win. And it takes longer for civil cases than it does for criminal cases. And we don't get the prosecuting attorney from the Attorney General's office to assist us in the case, to file on behalf of the state. Oh, I see. Richard Evans doesn't. Dallin H. Oaks purposely doesn't. Remember, he was a Supreme Court judge for the state of Utah. Oaks knows very well. And so, yes, he was being a white supremacist. And so then he goes on to other things that Oaks talked about. And yes, Oaks did throw in some historical facts. But that's the whole point I've been trying to give you as the theme of this conference, is the double speak. The two-edged meaning in the video I already posted. You don't get to pick and choose what facts you want to present. As a judge, he knows better. You can't withhold evidence, whether you're the prosecution or the defense. You can't do it. It's a crime. And so he, Richard Evans, even did not hear properly, or he didn't have a pen and paper to write it down, when he said that he made the point people can protest but not loot and kill people. That's not what he said. He said caused property damage, which may be a part of looting, but not really. Oak specifically referred to property damage. Not looting, not killing. Property damage. But again, Richard, he's trying to show his white supremacist peacock feathers by pointing out the first protest where white supremacists infiltrated the protests to loot. Also, the property damage was also caused by the Umbrella Man, who was a white supremacist, purposely there to get the protesters in trouble. Or what about the other protester who came from out of state with an illegal gun in the state he was in, as the police drove on by and even said, "Hey, have you seen any trouble yet?" Or the other one who shot protesters and the police did nothing. If you don't see what's going on, if you're not capable of correctly reading the Book of Mormon, if it's because you literally are illiterate, that you got C's and D's in grammar, I can understand that. I'll give you some slack. But I hope you'd be willing to learn so that you don't make those kinds of errors. Because knowing the truth is essential in our lives. Living the lie and spreading it is harmful to yourself and to others, as you violate other people's lives, liberties, and properties, as you become a denier of the abuse by those in authority, as you try to rewrite history. And so it's sad. I have done the work, the research into the Mormonism, all things Mormonism. Born and raised Mormon. I want to know the religion I'm in. I'm not just going to slide on through and say, I'm born Mormon, I'll die Mormon. I got that from Catholics, door after door after door after door, out in New York on my mission, 19-year-old mission. I didn't want to be that kind of person. If I'm going to be in the Mormon church, I need to know everything about it. So that when my born-again Christian peer makes fun of me that I can't have coffee, even though I'm like, I don't care, I don't like the smell. I don't drink or eat anything that doesn't smell good. And if it doesn't look good, oh, don't even throw it in my face. And people have tried that. Oh, this is so good, Travis. Oh, you're missing out. Oh, this is so good. No, it's not. It looks horrible. It smells horrible. I'm not touching it. You are having no reverse psychology effect on me. I'm allergic to all things green. One more bite. No. And this is the struggle. The hearts of men shall wax cold. Wax means grow. Not wax on, wax off. That's a different wax. You see, he talks about the need for love, and yet his whole comment here is full of hate. Let me read over Joseph Smith, what he said when he told the Methodist preacher, which never happened. He was booted out of the Methodist because he was a glass looker. Let's see. Persecuted by those who ought to have been my friends. Richard Evans ought to have been my friend. He's Mormon, I'm Mormon. Shouldn't he ought to have been my friend? And to have treated me kindly? I don't see very many kind words at all. There is no such thing as a kind word. They're all neutral. The meaning of the words used in the particular order determines the emotional response. And if they supposed me to be deluded, to have endeavored in a proper and affectionate manner to have reclaimed me. This is what I'm doing, guys. I think you Mormons are deluded. And so I am endeavoring in a proper and affectionate manner to reclaim you. You're illiterate. You're stupid. You're evil. You're demons. No, I don't do that, do I? Occasionally, depending on the abuse I get. But generally, the videos are going over doctrinal principles from the scriptures, the Mormon scriptures, over the facts of church history, to tell you that there's an inverted pentagram of Lucifer on the keystone of the arch of the doorway of the Salt Lake Temple is inappropriate for you to attack me for what is factually carved in stone. So you have to take that up with the church as to, hey, why is Lucifer's symbol on our temple? And then if they try to brush it off by saying, oh, it's a symbol of Jesus. Excuse me? No way, it's not. But you bring it up with them. I don't bring it up with them. One, they don't make themselves available to be brought it up with. I have to do it through a lawsuit. And Judge Waddups then calls it an ad hominem attack. Which again, he's projecting in order to save the church. The church is lost, if you didn't know. I beat them. Judge Waddups violated the law. And so this second lawsuit is about why they violated the law. They are the Illuminati. That's why the symbol is there. They are the threat. They are the secret combination that's going to overthrow this government, of which Joseph Smith said the Constitution would hang by a thread, and the government would need to be saved. He gave the date of when the president would take office. He gave the date of when the coronavirus would be unleashed. And it's all right there in the Book of Mormon and the Doctrine and Covenants for us, if we only knew how to read it. You have not understood my videos, Mormons. I'm trying to save your life, your physical life, and at the same time, your spiritual one, technically. But I need to warn you of the danger of the false prophets, the wolves in sheep's clothing. I know them by their fruit. You, however, aren't trying to even bother to get to know them by their fruit. That's why I do my videos, is to get you to just get to know their fruit. And you still remain blind. You still spew your hate. And maybe it's Russian. Maybe Richard Evans is a fake account, and he's just a Russian throwing stuff out there. Because the Russians are paying attention. They watched conference. They need to know what's going on, so that they can attack Mormons on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. They know what they're doing. But, yeah, this is unacceptable, Mormons. You need to cut it out. So, this video is very long. I really need to go to bed. I'm going to do it in the morning. Bye-bye, Richard. Random muse. I'm not sure what to do with this comment. Alrighty. No, it is not awesome, Marcella. You are spam. As much as you're... Alrighty. Come on, seriously? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, see, the Russians are paying attention. Oops, one is a little slow on the last two. You see, I'm trying to warn you about the financial victim blaming they're doing, and I got 2 extra thumbs down, which means they're not Russian. There's only 2 Russians on me now. There used to be 4. The other 2 gave up on me. So, gotta stop it. Alrighty. See, they are purposely blaming you, causing you suffering, causing you harm, and I'm the one trying to save your life, trying to help you, trying to get you to... Weird. Have minor COVID symptoms? Yeah, they grow over time. So, yeah, it's... Okay, so apparently he did a video an hour ago. I'm doing fine. If he recovers, then I'm right. He has the vaccine. He doesn't have his orange face. Oh no. He's looking like an old man now, not a pumpkin. Oh no. Oh, how he hath fallen. Oh, this isn't as long as I thought it was. I thought it was over an hour.